I think I'm going to do a video about taking pictures of things.
Taking pictures of things often makes me feel like,
Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
Hola, you amazing artist! Look! The piece is out of the studio!
I'm back!
She's back. I did some video where I talked about possibly talking about taking pictures or something, and a bunch of people said, hey, that'd be awesome, because we don't know how to take pictures. And here's the fun thing about that is that I don't know how to take pictures of my artwork either. But I have learned a few things over the last few years that have improved my picture taking skills.
Yeah, and I know everything there is to know about light bulbs.
Yeah. So when we get to the light bulb section of this video, maybe Klee will speak, because I don't know about light bulbs. They're bright. So here's my disclaimer. I am not a professional photographer. I don't know the first thing about camera settings or any of the rules or stuff like that that photographers mostly know. What I know is how I photograph my art. Those are the only tips that I have, is what I've done as far as photographing my art and what Klee has done as far as photographing her jewelry. Admittedly, Klee's jewelry always looks way more amazing than my artwork does.
That's not true. Your stuff looks beautiful. And also, I take like 200 pictures of a necklace.
The advice from professionals is always take a lot of pictures. I'm like, I ain't got time for that.
If you want to have time to actually make art, then take like 10 pictures.
Yeah. If you want to have time to have an art career that doesn't involve you being a photographer, then take like 10 pictures of your work. Just make them count. So I guess I'll start out with camera settings, and as far as what I know about camera settings, which could be completely wrong, but it seems to be what works for me. See if you can control your white balance. I just know how to set up my camera, which has a little white balance button in the settings, and then it has a custom setting, and I just set it up to my custom setting right before I take pictures, depending on where I'm at, whether I'm outside or I'm inside or something. It's pretty boring and easy, so just look it up. How do I set the white balance on my camera if your camera has one? If not, don't worry about it.
If it has auto white balance, then just do what I do and cross your fingers and hope your pictures don't come out pink.
Yes, the lighting that I use for mine inside the studio are LED daylight bulbs, so I don't really have that much of an issue taking pictures. It won't turn yellow or any other color. Which is this pretty much. I have umbrella lights that I bought on Amazon, I believe, right?
Doesn't everything come from Amazon?
So I put some of my daylight LEDs in there. These are 100-watt daylight LEDs. They do come with these bulbs, which Klee just said what they are. What are they?
I think they're called CLF bulbs.
CLF bulbs, which I didn't want in my studio just in case they fell into the tarp.
Yeah, did you know you're like supposed to call a hazmat team or something if you break one of those?
Yeah.
That's too much work.
Yeah, too much work. So as you can see, I'm taking photographs of one of my Curate Your Space pieces. These are my prints that I do, and I want this cool background, this piece of wood. So I actually, for these, because these are for my online store, I take these with my iPhone camera, which is what I'm filming this with. So take an angle like this, an angle like this, then, do this light here on the right side, this light here on the left side, and then you've got this overhead light that's pointing, so it's giving it 3-point lighting, and that should cover all your bases. So just play around with the lighting until it reaches what it is that you want to do, where it lights the whole piece and doesn't cast any weird shadows on it. So a lot of times when I take pictures indoors, I set up this lighting, and that works pretty good for me. The other setting is the ISO. All I know about the ISO is that the lower the setting that you could get, the less pixelation you get. A recommended setting for artwork would be like 200 for the ISO. So that's it. What it is and how it works, I have no idea. All I know is that that seems to work for me for my camera. And that's when I take pictures with my camera. For the most part, I take pictures with my iPhone, especially if you have some of the newer iPhones, like the 7 Plus. The pictures are fantastic. They're amazing. If I have a large piece that I want to shoot in high pixels, or any other piece that I want to shoot in high pixels to make large prints, then I'll use my camera. But for the most part, the iPhone works just as fine. And I don't know, people might argue with me, but it's worked for me just fine. The one thing that you'll need is a tripod. You want to make sure that you have a nice sturdy tripod, because a tripod allows you to minimize the shake on the camera, and so that way your pictures don't come out even the tiniest bit blurry. Make sure that it's square. Like, so if you have a painting hanging like this on a wall, this is flat, then make sure that your camera is facing it exactly straight on. And once you do that, set it on timer so that you're not touching the camera physically and taking the picture. Set it on timer, hit the set button, and then let it just kind of sit there and snap the picture. A lot of the pieces I'll wait until there is a good sunny day to be able to take photographs, because honestly natural lighting is the best, but you got to be careful where you position your lighting because you don't want direct sunlight. I'll show you what it looks like when you get direct sunlight. Now you remember that I have the video where I build my wall. I actually use that as the backdrop because I'm able to position the paintings where I want them. It's actually not too bad, except that you're getting a lot of very bright reflections in the texture here. A lot of times when I'm taking photographs of something outside, I'll set up my canopy. I have a white canopy which diffuses the sun, and then I'll use one of these walls inside of the canopy to take a photograph. Because you want to just diffuse the sun a little bit. You don't want to block the sun. You don't want to take pictures in the shade. At least that seems to be what works for me. And I've spent years trying to take photographs and taking horrible photographs of my pieces. When I first started, I was really nervous about taking pictures, thinking that maybe I was taking the pictures wrong, that there had to be some kind of trick to taking the pictures. That I was going to need a scanner, a professional scanner, so I could scan in my painting and pick up every nuance. And you know what? All that stuff is really cool to be able to scan in your painting or have it professionally done. And that's the thing. If you want it professionally done, then take it to a professional to take pictures. But you could just take the pictures yourself. You can't really capture the artwork or the piece with a photograph fully. You know, there's something about seeing it in front of you in 3D versus seeing a 2D image. Don't be too hard on yourself, but always realize that there's always room for improvement as far as taking photographs of your work. So don't worry about it being perfect. Get it as good as you possibly can. If you're creating prints of your work from a photograph, try to get those pictures as perfect as you can. Use a tripod, make sure that it's in focus, make sure that you have good natural lighting. Try to square it out as much as possible.
I gotta hand it to the sun. The sun does a real great job of lighting your set.
Yes, it does. Sometimes you can't have the sun. I mean, for the next 5 days, it's supposed to be raining and dreary out. So there's going to be no outdoor photographing on those days.
I bought a light box, one of those tent things for photographing jewelry. If you're photographing jewelry, you need one of those things. They're great.
By light box, she means one of these. She bought one of these on Amazon, was it?
Yep. Yeah, and if you have smaller paintings, you can put your paintings in there too, and you can get bigger ones of those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So basically what this does is it diffuses the light, and you could put the item in there and have the lighting on this side, lighting on that side, and so you've got that cool white background. So when you have small pieces or you have jewelry or small sculptures, light box. Well, although they don't need to be small because they sell these in several...
Yeah, they make big, huge ones, too.
They make big, huge ones. So, yeah, so this is really cool. I would take a look at that. My only advice that I could give you is that if you're not posting photographs or you're not getting ready to do prints because you're afraid of taking photographs because you might do it wrong, is to just start. Just use whatever cameras you have available to you. Use whatever lighting you have available to you. I mean, you could just buy a lamp and use some blank canvas as a diffuser or a reflector for your work and just start playing around and see where you put the lighting. The 3-point lighting that I described a little while ago, there's a bunch of information on the web of taking photographs, and a lot of them make it sound like you need this camera, you need that camera, and honestly, just use what you got available to you. Don't allow yourself to not take pictures because you're afraid that you're going to do it wrong, or you're afraid that you don't have the right equipment. You got to get started somewhere, so you might as well just start.
Just do it.
Just do it. I mean, think about it this way. when you take a selfie, do you just take one photograph and you're like, oh, that's perfect? No, you take several photographs and then you look at this one, oh, that one's got my double chin. And you go through those photographs and you pick the best one. And that's pretty much what you do with your artwork. Go through the photographs of your artwork and pick the best one.
And inevitably, just about every year, so you're gonna look back and be like, God, those old pictures suck and my new pictures are so much better.
Oh,
and
God.
next year you're gonna be like, oh man, those pictures from last year suck. They suck so hard.
5 years ago, I look at those pictures and I was like, what was I even thinking?
Yeah, but we get an A for effort. I didn't have anything back then, so like there's pictures of me standing like against a shed in the backyard with like a bird prop. I was like, whoa, this bird prop is so mysterious and cool. All right, Rafi, I'm going to try to do a brief history of light bulbs by Clee Angeli.
Okay.
When I bought my studio light box, it came with those Curlicue bulbs. Those pretty much sucked. No matter how high the wattage, it wasn't lighting up the light box. So then I moved on to super duper bright LEDs. So then I tried LED daylight bulbs for better color rendering. And what I ultimately ended up using, which I'm using right now, is full spectrum incandescent bulbs. And that's all I'm going to say about light bulbs because
Thank God.
this could be like a seriously long video. Questions about light bulbs, feel free to ask them.
Yep. Just put them in the comment section below. Clee will answer. Not me. And that's it. That's all we've got. I'm sure that there's a lot of you out there that have way better advice on taking photographs. And if you want to share those with us, just leave them in the comment section below. And also, you guys, if you have any questions about art or life, leave those in the comment section below, along with a website or something where I can check out your artwork. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. I totally freaking adore you. You guys are absolutely awesome. And if you like this and you want to watch more like this, just click right over here to subscribe. And that's it. Say goodbye, Clee.
Good day.
Adios.